Welcome to the landing pattern for Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in November of 2023. Hey everyone, I'm Patrick from Oakland Travel, and we are on our way to London. And coming up from Orlando, we took a quick little 1-hour flight here on the Delta 757-200. Nice little 1-hour flight up to Atlanta. And then we had to make a very quick jump from Terminal, B, or wherever it was we landed, over to Terminal E, I think it was, which was the international terminal for the flight that we were going to be on, which was another Delta flight. So beautiful day. This was on a Wednesday, kind of coming in for a landing here. Late afternoon, maybe 4 o'clock-ish. I don't even remember what time it was really, but as you can see, beautiful weather as we're getting ready to touch down. An amazing flight crew on this little short Delta flight. Very, very funny. This was the day right after Halloween, November 1st. So one of the members of the flight crew was having a little bit of fun with, the post-Halloween, whenever they were making their announcements and stuff. It was pretty funny. But touching down in Atlanta, this is where I grew up. I'm actually from Atlanta before moving to Orlando, so I know the Atlanta airport extremely well over the course of my life. A lot of flights into and out of Atlanta airport. I remember back when it was just Hartsfield before they renamed it to Hartsfield-Jackson. But one of the things that I've always loved about the Atlanta airport are the terminals and just the overall movement, because it's, between the layout of the terminals and just the plane train underneath, which you're going to see here in a second. It's just a great airport because it's a very simple, very straightforward layout, but it's pretty easy to just navigate your way from one concourse to the other. And as you can see from the sides here, if you've never flown into or out of the Atlanta airport, just a multitude of shopping and food options available all through the airport, almost no matter which terminal you're in. And as you see here in a second, we're getting ready to go down to where the plane train is, and the good old plane train. Pretty quick. It just does a nice loop around the terminals. And I think I said earlier, in this case, we're going to go from Terminal B down to Terminal E, which is a pretty quick little ride because the train is just automated and it just moves right along. The funny thing about this particular trip, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together when I was booking it, but the layover here in Atlanta is pretty short. I mean, the overall layover time was like 45 minutes from the scheduled arrival from the flight coming up from Orlando to the actual takeoff of the international flight going over to London. And so when we checked in at the Orlando airport, and the lady there at the desk at Delta was kind of like, kind of giving me the whole you should have chosen a different flight because you got a very tight layover here. And she kind of almost like, you're not going to make it kind of thing. And I was like, it's like, all right, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. The Atlanta airport, it's easy to move from one terminal to the other. As long as our flight coming up is on time, which it was actually, I think maybe a couple minutes early. So we ended up getting over here to the gate in Terminal E with plenty of time to spare. And it was actually kind of nice not having a long layover because it was like as soon as you land, make your way over to the new terminal, enough time to hit the restroom before the long international flight, and then it's time to start boarding. And so as you'll see here in a second, once we get down to gate 27, I think, which is what we were flying out of, we were already so close to the scheduled boarding time that everybody's kind of hanging out here, kind of hovering, waiting to start boarding. So timing was pretty good overall.